Today's episode of The Read Pile is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
I'm Elle, and I want another cat.
And I am the Sussman, Rick Sussman, and I feel that I will be concluded soon. Wait, that's not really a good... you are watching The Read Pile.
It's the week of September 30th, and here's some comic book news you can use.
I like when you say that. It makes me want to dance. Okay, so, recent news from the world of DC Comics television channel, or as we refer to it, the CW. Evidently, Steve Amell, Arrow, also professional wrestler Steve Amell, has come out. He said to some reporters that Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow are all essentially one show. They all take place at the exact same time. They're all in the exact same universe. They are, for all intents and purposes, the same show, just being shot from different angles. Pretty cool. Kind of neat that it's a shared universe, right?
Well, it's kind of a duh moment. I mean, if you have been watching, there's been crossovers, so...
Well, it's a big deal.
You would hope so, and there's like some time jumping going on.
Well, there's going to be time jumping in the League of Legends of Tomorrow.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, I understand. I know where you're going. Here's the thing, though. This is why it's kind of a big deal, especially that he said it. What don't the DC TV shows have anything to do with? The DC movies. Or really anything, even though they do have their own comics.
They do create comics based on the show, and they do try to keep some of the background history and everything of the character in the show, but they essentially are having their own little throw at it, in a way. Yeah.
So, don't you think a shared universe for the cinematic versions of things would be better? You, much to your own personal chagrin, I might add, really, really, really like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
And you have on occasion noted that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ties in with the movies, some terrible, Thor, others really good, Captain America. Is that not cool? Do you not enjoy that?
I do.
Wouldn't it be nice, maybe, if then, DC could do something similar?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, I didn't say it would. I just said
I don't think it would work. Not with what they have right now and trying to put it together. Because here's the thing. The movies in Marvel were already going. They were moving along. Those characters already existed. Guess what? The characters that are in S.H.I.E.L.D. had already been in those movies. So it's easy to throw them in to their own TV show and then say, hey, we're going to plug it back into the movies from time to time, or at least refer to the movies in the background about the stories that are going on and, just all the action that's going on.
So, what I'm hearing, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
The TV series have existed before the movies, so they couldn't retroactively become the movies.
I can't see the character going over to DC and ignoring the Marvel universe right now.
Sure.
Those characters, I can't see those characters on the big screen. I can't.
Wow, kind of mean.
Not right now. They've been in the CW world, and I'll be honest, it's like two different worlds.
So you're
saying... There's like levels.
So you're saying it's a multiverse?
Kind of.
So, this is what I was waiting for. Couldn't the Flash from the CW TV series run through the multiverse? Oh, no, where are you going? See, I set her up.
Time for comic book reviews. Starting up from Under the Mountains. Alright. So this book just seemed like it was a little all over the place. It's one of those books where they really want to try to jump in and get you going, and maybe they're trying to create a little mystery at the beginning because they're like, oh look, there's this spirit or ghost or something that this chick is summoning, and then now we're gonna shoot forward. Okay, now there's this girl, and she, she's in a palace, and she's well off, and apparently, this is a very important family, and she has tutors, but she wants to be out in the real world. She wants to experience life, but her father is very powerful and overprotective, and says, no. And then we're gonna shoot over here, and there's this other girl, and then and you can kind of see where they kind of put it together, but it's annoying, and I'm sorry, you kind of jumped it around too much for me to really even care anymore, because I don't know, this is a different type of story for me. You needed to catch my attention. You didn't. Sorry. You gotta go. But Batman! This is the 4th annual in this series, and well, of course, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. If I could have 2 picks of the week, this would definitely be in the tie. But oh man. Okay, so pretty much this story is taking place in that gap of after the accident. So Bruce Wayne doesn't really remember anything, and he is taken back to Wayne Manor, and they are actually in the process of finishing up clearing out Arkham Manor. So it's kind of eerie. He's walking in. He already doesn't remember, so it doesn't really help that things aren't how they were. So maybe something will be triggered or something crazy. So he's walking in, and the best part of this is the fact that they're kind of going into detail about what they had to go through to get certain villains out and the extremes that they had to go through. Well, sorry, this might be a little bit of a spoiler. Not everybody actually left. And that's what happens in this issue. And to me, it's fun because I like when there's different villains that are all in one issue, and it's more fun to read. And it makes me giggle. It reminds me of back when I was watching Batman animated series, and you would have several characters and stuff. And yes, that happens a lot in regular comics, but for some reason in Batman, it always takes me back to my childhood. I don't know why, but it does. And it's just, you feel really bad for Bruce. You know, he's having to deal with all of this, and he doesn't even know why. And you feel for him. You really do. So sad. But, pick of the week. Grayson Annual. So, a little bit shorter of a go by with the series. So this is only the 2nd annual. And this is pretty much taking place, no jumps or like jumping around or anything. We are already at the point where Grayson is having to go back to Spiral. Well, it does back up just a little bit. So it's like, oh, hey, we're still in Gotham. So he's going to have one more adventure before he's actually leaving. And it's with Superman. And it's cute because they kind of go back in time to when he was Robin, and they relate a relationship that him and Superman had, and then bounce forward, and they still have that relationship. And it's pretty cute. And they're actually dealing with the same crazy beast monster thing from the back in the days story to now. So that even makes it better because I don't know. It was adorable. The things they would talk about Batman, and it was just so cute. It was so cute. I don't know. I can't get over it. But I think it was really good. I think another thing that really got to me as far as an annual, a lot of times, not always, but a lot of times is pretty much summing up what has been going on in the series. And that's what this did. Not summing up, that's not really the word. It kind of gets you up to speed. And there's usually some type of an explanation. So they're like, okay, this is what's going on. And that was easily done because he's like, oh, hey, Superman. And they're talking, and, you know, that's how they summed it up. And I really liked how they were able to relate something over to the Midnighter series. They're like, oh yeah, Midnighter. Oh, you know that guy. And you're like, oh, are you reading Midnighter? Are you not? Maybe you should be. And then they kind of bounce over to about Superman and what's going on over in Superman's land. And then they kind of go over to Batman, what's going on in Batman's land. And it wasn't done badly. It was like hinted, like, hey, so it's pretty cool over here too. You should read this. I'll be honest, it's a good issue if it actually made me want to read Superman. I do, just a little bit. Kind of do. That's pretty amazing. But in the meantime, we will go and see what Rick has to say.
Well, thank you for those reviews, Elle. You were reviewing a lot of annuals, so you had a lot of reading. I had a lot of reading, but that wasn't an annual reading. In fact, a number of books in my read pile are tragically coming to an end, and I do not like that! More on that in a minute. First, a quick hit, Munchkin. I gotta be honest with you, I am not missing an issue of this. I will always buy Munchkin, and now I'm getting more cards too. My reviews of these are basically just the cards at this point because they're just always hilarious. But this month's card is the Chillax. Like a chill, it's a chill axe. You need to chillax. Nobody gets that. It does 3+ against monsters. It is immune to fire and flame attacks. And it's a chill axe. Why is nobody laughing? Why is nobody laughing? I deserve that. Let's begin. Sex. Sex number 24 has 2 covers, sort of. I really dig what Image is doing with their cover art, making it part of the story. This is actually a news article written about Simon Cook on the cover here. You can actually read his life story. It's really cool. Joe Casey is writing an epic here, and I'm really enjoying every issue of it. I really can't recommend it enough, as long as you're in for a long haul kind of book. There's going to be a lot of quiet issues, but we're really building up to something here, which apparently we've been building to all these issues. It is the kind of book that you read not because every issue makes you stand up and take notice, but because every issue is solid. I said the same thing about Lazarus as well. It doesn't quite have the same impact that Lazarus does, but it really does blend well to its discussion topic, which is sex, and the idea of superheroes trying to be as normal as the rest of us, and what happens in the interim, and all of the power and all of the politics and all of that craziness that comes with intimate contact with a member of, well, I guess any part of the sexes at this point, because there's just about every version of it in that book. It's kind of crazy. Let's move on. They are not like us. So initially, when I first started reviewing this, I said it was like a version of the X-Men in that the characters were like teen mutants or teen abilities or whatnot. We have graduated well beyond that concept now into a much different take on these characters. And as the book moves on, I am super excited by all the craziness that's happening and all of the differences. There's always really cool, poignant quotes on the backs of these books as well. Like I said, Image is doing, well, you can see it up here. Image is doing some really awesome stuff with their books. They're making comic books. Like, the entire thing is the art form, and I love it. The quote on the back here from Richard James Edwards, "Survival's as natural as sorrow." So, basically saying, to survive is to suffer. And that's kind of one of the big kicks of what's going on in They're Not Like Us, is, yes, you are winning this war, I guess, but is it worth your soul? Is it worth your emotional state? And that's one of the questions being asked. It's really good. A book that is, the last two books, alright, fine. Our last two books are always on the top of my read pile. They're always a pick of the week at one point or another, and I really couldn't avoid it this time. One of them was going to be, and I'll explain why the one is. But first, let's talk about the latest issue of Rasputin. God, I love this book. Let me just show you, just look at this. Here, look at this page. Look at these splash pages. Oh, so gorgeous. This is 2 books in one. I've said this 100 times. I read this book, and then I go back and I read it again, and I read it again. The art is so lush, and it works so well for the character. I cannot get enough of this. Here's the tragedy, though. I flip to the end of the book, I look down, to be concluded. Please no. No. I need more of this. This cannot be, what are we on, issue 9? This can't be 10 issues. Give me more. Give me more Rasputin. I hope that just means it's the conclusion of the arc, because this is one of the few books that I look forward to every time it's out. And I cannot get enough of it. If it is the end, though, I will have to say this. It's been a fabulous ride, and you know how much I love terminal books. It saddens me when the book is terminal, but I love it. Speaking of terminal books, speaking of picks of the week, let's get the graphic up and running here. Drifter. We've been over Drifter. We love how it moved from being a dust punk western kind of thing into this hard sci-fi, and it's moving even further into that. And now we're learning that all of this may have happened because our lead character crash landed into this planet. And he crash landed into this planet because all of this may have happened because of him crash landing into this planet. It's a really cool, really heady concept of a person's like their own physical determination to get to where they need to go. But is there anything as such as free will? How the creatures that he first sees and shoots dead, were they always there? Or did he bring them with him? We don't know what he really is. He still doesn't really remember. All of these things all come flooding back. It was a really, really, really good issue. And one other reason why it's my pick of the week. A little self-gratulation here. While reading over the the letters page, I look down and I see a quote. "Every issue of this new Drifter arc is getting more and more sci-fi-y, and I just love it. Plus, dat art dough." Quote the read pile at the read pile. If you ever want to be a part of our show, evidently the boys at Drifter decided to publish one of my tweets in their book. Yes. That is my pick of the week. For you, our loyal followers of the read pile, we have an awesome offer from Audible.com. Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their awesome service. You can download some really great books like The Hobbit, the unabridged version from Tolkien. You can download Divergent, Lean In, lots of great stuff to check out. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia. Again, that's audibletrial.com/nerdupmedia for your free audiobook.
That's this week for the read pile. Rick, what's up?
Well, obviously, we're giving a big thank you to Ivan Brandon and Nick Klein, the team behind Drifter again. Look, they published me. I didn't expect them to, okay? I realize I'm being, really ridiculous about this. And to be honest, it was my pick of the week before I even read that. You can look at my tweet history. It's on there. I can't be excited about this?
I guess.
Are you just leaving?
Yeah.
Well, since that's all over, you should know something.
It was me, Rick, all along.